speaking, and welcome to this video. Eldar Learning Curve. We're in the heavy support section and we're looking at support weapons. So support weapons in 6th edition actually got slightly better. We'll go into the reasons why in a minute, but first up, the models. It's quite interesting that Games Workshop released a newer model for these before 6th edition came out, so maybe they had some ideas about what was going to happen. But my models are magnetised. I have a video up on how to magnetise these, but basically I've got that section magnetised mainly for storage, but it's also pretty cool to be able to rotate it round. I've also got the guns magnetised. I have all three options for each platform. So I have the D Cannon, I have the Shadow Weaver, and of course I have the Vibro Cannon. So first let's have a look why these have got a little bit better in 6th edition, and then we'll have a look at each individual gun. So two reasons that they've got better. First up is the new artillery rules, which basically give these things a little bit of a boost because they're toughness 7 now, these platforms, and they have a 3+ save, which is pretty awesome actually. 2 wounds, so you can even take a wound on these and still fire the guns. So that's the first reason. The second reason is the new barrage rules. Barrage rules have actually got pretty good in 6th edition, which is quite nice to see. Now this gun here isn't a barrage weapon, but it does give you pinning. And of course the new barrage rules means that these are also pinning as well, so all 3 gun options are pinning, which is pretty useful. So let's have a look at the individual guns. Now my personal favourite is the Shadow Weaver, which may go against the grain. I know that the D Cannon is probably the most popular one, and we'll come to that in a minute, but let's start with the Shadow Weaver. Very, very cheap, which is really nice to see. Only 30 points for the platform and the gun and the Guardians, which is obviously undisputably very, very cheap for an Eldar Codex. Not only that, you can hide these totally and still fire that gun, which is very, very useful, coupled with the fact that it's 48 inches, so it's got nice long range. You can safely hide it. Of course these are heavy support, so in big guns they are going to become scoring as well, so that's another plus thing with these. And of course it's pinning. Barrage rules means that all the wounds will have to be taken from the centre of the hole, wherever it lands basically. So I have actually taken out Orc Knobs with Power Claws with this thing, just targeting that Power Claw in the unit, getting a dead on without scattering, and he's got to take those wounds. Strength 6, I mean, okay, it's not going to do a huge amount, the AP is rubbish, but Strength 6, small blast template every turn, pinning checks, and you can't shoot it because it's hidden. Quite an annoying unit. 30 points. Bit of a bargain if you ask me. So yeah, I've been working so far with 2 of these in my list, mainly because I only have 2 platforms. If I had 3, I might go for 3. 90 points for 3 of these at the back of your army, especially a foot dar. I think it would work really, really well. Before we move on to the next gun, let's just talk about the Guardian. So you can either have him standing up here on the gun, or you can have him standing at the front. So what's the best option? Well, the new artillery rule states that the unit here has the toughness of the gun. So even if you put him out front, he's going to be toughness 7. Okay, he's only got his save, 5+ save, as opposed to a 3+ save. But effectively, you can lose him, take the first wound. You then have the opportunity to take another wound on the gun. With this guy here, you're still going to be able to fire the gun. Bearing in mind, closest model dies first. So if somebody deep strikes behind you, they might kill this guy, so you've got to sort of bear that in mind. But yeah, so far as I can see, the best place is to have him at the front, because if you have him behind already, like so, and then you get shot at, you've only got 1 wound, to be able to carry on. If you lose 2 wounds, you're dead. Or at least if it's this way and you lose 2 wounds, you can still fire the gun. So yeah, almost definitely have him at the front. You can attach a warlock to the unit as well if you want to invest in the points. I'm not sure I would do that, to be honest, but it is an option. So yeah, that's that gun. So let's have a look at the next gun, which is the D Cannon, which, as I said, is arguably the best choice. Got my other Guardian there, look at that, he's doing his little scanner there. So yeah, D Cannon. Obviously, the main thing about the D Cannon is that it's AP2, and it's obviously a barrage weapon once again with a small blast template. It's pinning, but it hits, or it wounds, sorry, on 2+, and any 6s, it's going to be instant death. So it's quite a nice gun, but it's only 24 inches. So you need to, unlike the Shadow Weaver, where you can basically just have it right at the back. Let's stick it at the back there. Let's extend the Guardian down as well. You can have it right at the back, either in the open or behind a piece of terrain, ideally. And regardless what army you're playing, or the mission, or the tactics that you're using, they can just be there. Slightly different with this, because 24 inches, you need to have a bit more of a plan with this gun. You know, obviously you can still hide the thing, but you need to be 24 inches. The chances are you are going to be in the open. You may even be moving with it for the first 1 or 2 turns. And of course, the way to control the range of the gun is with objective placement. So you want to make sure that the objectives that you're placing down are going to be within range of this gun, preferably in the open, so you can make use of that AP2. But yeah, very useful. It is a bit more expensive than the Shadow Weaver's. 30 points for the gun and 30 points for the base. You're looking at 60 points. Still pretty cheap, let's face it. And of course, if you're going for 3 of these, that's 180 points. So then a bit more investment with this gun. The third gun option is the Vibro Cannon, which is probably my least favourite. The main reason for this is the Vibro Cannon, although it's a pretty cool gun, to get anything decent from it, then you're going to have a unit of these. So you're going to need a unit of 2, which will give you strength 5. If you go for a unit of 3, that will give you strength 6. Just one gun by itself is only going to be strength 4, and it's pretty useless, to be fair. So there's a lot more points investment for this. I mean, it's the same price as these, so you're looking at 60 points, but you are going to have 1 unit of 3 really to do anything. So you can't just have a single one, unlike the D Cannon, which is probably its main disadvantage. So for me, Vibro Cannon's out, but D Cannon, under the right circumstances, very good fun to play with. And the Shadow Weaver, if you want that cheap, annoying unit. I mean, these are proving pretty useful in my Harlequin list, where I've got a lot of points invested in the Harlequins, and you know, 3 of these, filling up the heavy support slots for 90 points, is pretty useful actually. So yeah, that's something that I'm running with. You can see the very good reasons for running these. Not so many good reasons for running the Vibro Cannon. Not that it isn't viable, I know a lot of people would like to use it, but I suppose it's fitting it to your army, that's the main thing. So that's it for me for these guys. Next up we need to have a look at Dark Reapers. Yeah, so more to come. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.